Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over another one of my MagDen builds for the Necrom chapter. I think that this build is a lot of fun. It has so much pressure, and it's been slapping so hard in PvP and open world Cyrodiil. This thing is absolutely killer, and I love it so much. I really hope you guys do it too. Also, one little announcement before we get started. I said this in the last video as well, and I'm just going to keep on plugging it as much as I can. I did start up a second YouTube channel with it, which is just my VODs for Twitch. You guys don't need to go watch them, but getting that thing to 1,000 subscribers gets it monetized, so I would really appreciate your guys' help. The link to that will be in the description. Please just go subscribe to that other channel. It takes 2 seconds. I would highly appreciate it. We've only got like 300 subs on there, which is awesome. But if we could just get more, I would really appreciate it. So thank you to everybody who's subscribed to that. But guys, without further ado, let's get on with the build. We're going to start this with our character sheet, whichever one that is. So we're going to be a Breton on our MagDen. Breton, in my opinion, is best in slot. I had Khajiit on this for a bit, but honestly, I like Breton a lot better. That overall reduced cost on all of your magic abilities is massive, and I have such a fun time on it. I was able to build a little bit more into damage that way, and I really think that Breton is the way to go. If you don't have Breton, I think the best alternatives are Khajiit is very good, but I think Dark Elf will be solid as well. And our attributes are going to be 20 points into magic and 44 points into health to give us a max magic pool of 22.1k, a max health pool of 31.4k, and that's before minor toughness. It gets to about 34k overall when we fully heal. And then a max stam pool of 15.3k. Our Mundus is going to be the warrior to increase our weapon damage as much as possible. It doesn't matter if you go warrior or apprentice. Weapon damage, spell damage, it comes out to the exact same thing on Warden, so do whatever you want. I just like building into weapon damage. I don't know why. Subconscious instinct to me, I don't know. But I like weapon damage. I like Warrior Mundus on this. And then we're also going to be using Jewels of Mizrael for our food. It's going to increase our stamina and magic recovery by 315 and increase our max health by 3,465. And then also Vampire Stage 3, as always. That Undeath passive, the lower health you are, the less damage you take. Absolutely massive. Definitely recommend. Moving on to our gear. We're not going to have a full monster set on this, but we're going to have one piece Magma Incarnate and well fitted. And that way we're going to get that one piece of Mag and Stam recovery. I definitely recommend using this because your overall recovery is definitely needed on this. We don't really build too much into recovery. So using this is definitely going to be that little bit of a tipping point between having that sustain and not, in my opinion. And then our 5-piece set that's going to be on our body at all times is going to be Ice Furnace. We're going to be using a heavy Ice Furnace helmet and reinforced. Ice Furnace gives you max magic, crit chance, weapon and spell damage. Then when you deal damage, you also you deal an additional 1,370 flame damage as well to all enemies within 8 meters around the initial target, and that can occur once every 1 second. And the amount of AoE pressure that we have with ice damage is massive. So both your ice damage getting buffed and your Ice Furnace going out at all times, that is insane amounts of damage, and I have been loving this set so much on this build. It has been crazy for your overall damage. I love it so much. Moving on to our chest piece, same thing, heavy Ice Furnace and reinforced. And then we're going to be using, as our front bar set, we're going to be using Draugr. Draugr's awesome for your overall damage. It's going to give you max magic, offensive pen, magic recovery, and increases your damage done by 330, but reduces the healing taken by 10%. So that's why we're only front barring this, because we don't want this on our body at all times. If this is on our back bar when we're healing, you're definitely going to notice that with your heals, and it is horrible. I hate it. But only front barring it is definitely the way to go. It is a way to make sure that your damage is as high as possible, but also your sustain, your healing is as high as possible as well. A lot of people were also asking, a lot of people seem to not really know how Draugr works exactly. It says increases your damage done by 330. That's flat damage. That's not 330 weapon and spell damage. That's just 330. So if you do damage for 1,000, Draugr gonna buff it so that your damage is 1,330. So that's crazy for your overall buffs. That's gonna be applying to Ice Furnace, to all of your abilities, and overall, the damage that you output with this is insane. You're putting out so many damage numbers in general, and then adding Draugr to that. That damage is absolutely bonkers. I love it so much. Make sure you're looking out for the clips at the end of the video. It is really nice. I definitely recommend it. Look over the videos at the end. If this is the kind of playstyle you want to check out, definitely do it. Also, moving on to our other gear, we're going to be using Draugr hands in Impen as well. Ice Furnace is going to be our legs in Heavy Rainforest. And Draugr is going to be our feet in Light Divines. And as you can see, all of our body pieces are going to have triple prismatics on them. Our jewelry is going to be Ice Furnace in the Infused trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. I already had this in Infused and I kind of ran out of transmutes. I think this would be a little bit better with Bloodthirsty, but overall, Infused is not a bad option. Same thing with Pale Order, Infused weapon and spell damage, awesome. Again, you'd have more damage with Bloodthirsty, but it's still completely fine. And then Ice Furnace Ring in Infused as well with a reduced magic cost. That way your magic sustain is as fine as possible. If you don't have this, I feel like you'll be able to, your sustain is going to be a little bit tough, but I definitely still recommend trying this out. So our one ring mythic is going to be Pale Order. The amount of damage dots and output that we have is a lot. So Pale Order is a great way for your overall healing to just take over. I have looked at my combat metrics on this after a few different big fights, big solo fights, and Pale Order is usually either 2 or 3 on my healing list. And to me, that alone proves how good this is for solo. This is great for solo play. If you're in group play, it's going to be a little bit tough because you have those penalties. I would recommend using Death Dealers in group play, but when you're solo, definitely use Pale Order. Our front bar weapon is going to be a Draugr Ice Staff in the Charge trait with a magic damage glyph and also a restore health, magic, and stam glyph. That's a great way to keep your overall sustain up, your overall healing up. I found this to be the best setup for this, and I really like it a lot. Moving on, we're also going to be using Maelstrom Perfected Ice Staff in the Infused trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it for our back bar. This is going to increase the damage of your Wall of Elements dealt by 1,250. So that's overall a great extra source of damage that you have. And I really couldn't find anything else that I liked more than this on the back bar, whether it was Potentates. I don't see a need for Vatashron on Warden since you already have Major Breach with Subterranean Assault. And overall, I just felt like this was the best option with the way we're playing this, because Wall of Elements with Ice Furnace and Draugr, guys, it's insane. So anyways, moving on to our skills. Our spammable is going to be Force Balls. I like this morph a whole lot for the 1vxing because up to 2 nearby enemies will also take 7,738 magic damage if they were already affected with a status effect. So it's awesome for 1vxing. You're doing a lot of extra damage in AoE around you, and overall that little tri burst of 25, 11 flame shock and frost damage is also always increased by your Draugr, so it's minimum going to be 28, right? 28, 40. I think that's how math works, because you add the 330 from Draugr. Then on top of that, you're also going to be doing frost damage at all times, so that's going to be proccing your Ice Furnace. So imagine all that damage outputting. That's a lot of different abilities going out at once. And also on top of that, you're healing from that, from Pale Order. Great. I definitely like Force Pulse. The other morph isn't bad. I just prefer this one on this build. And then Bird of Prey, this is going to be a great source of major expedition. It's also going to be a snare immunity and immobilization. And also on top of that, you're also going to get Minor Berserk just for having this slotted, so you're just going to increase your damage jump by 5%. And then Blue Betty, this is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery. So this is going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 20%. Also, this is going to be a nice cleanse for you. So every 5 seconds, then this is going to remove 1 negative effect from you. So if you get hit by a cold fire, start spamming Netch, and it's likely that it'll purge that cold fire off you. And also it's just a great little free purge, and I just really like it. If you don't have many resources, it's a great ability to spam to start getting some heals and some status effects and stuff off of you at all times. And then Deep Fissure, this is going to be your main burst damage that you're going to line up with your other abilities. This is just a great source. If you can combo this with Deep Fissure, Dawnbreaker, and then Force Pulse, it does a lot of damage. Also, this is going to be afflicting enemies with major and minor breach This is going to reduce their physical and spell resistance if you apply both of them by 9k, so that is massive. Also, Frost Reach. I like to just put this on all of my enemies because this is just frost damage that's going out at all times. So you hit an enemy with this is always going to be proccing your Ice Furnace, so that's awesome. Then on top of that, they're also going to be hit with the chilled status effect, so awesome as well. And then on top of that, just having this dot going on at all times and the Ice Furnace always proccing, that's just great healing over time for your for your Pale Order. I apologize. Because Pale Order, it's not healing you much, but it's always passive healing, and I would always take that in PvP. That 1vx scenario, I will take any single extra heal that I can get at all times. I have been really liking this morph a lot, and I definitely recommend trying this. I know I also had called bugs, whatever that thing's called. Where's the bugs? Oh, Fetcher Infection. I didn't see it, and it was nice to have that minor vulnerability on them. But overall, I really liked Frost Reach. That way, just increased my overall damage with my Ice Furnace going out at all times. Moving on, we're going to be using Dawnbreaker of Smiting as our front bar ultimate. It's Dawnbreaker. I don't know what else is there to be said about it. It's great to increase your overall weapon and spell damage because of the Fighters Guild passives. And also, it's just great burst damage to have as well. Also, that dot afterwards, huge for your overall healing from Pale Order and your damage for Draugr too. Just saying. Back bar, we're going to be using Arctic Blast still. I know it got nerfed this past patch, but I still thoroughly enjoy it. I've been playing around the 3-second stun, and it was a little wonky at first to get used to, but once I got the hang of it, it actually threw a lot of people off guard, and I really do like this a lot. The healing from this is not the best. It's your best form of a burst heal on this build. It's still not the best. So definitely always try to keep up all of your heals up as possible, and make sure that you don't have to rely on this as your burst heal. It's tough, but it's still very strong. We're also going to be using Blockade of Frost on our back bar. This is going to be it's going to be buffed by your Maelstrom Ice Staff on your back bar. You're going to be putting that little wall out there, and honestly, it's great for fights like towers and close quarters range because your enemies aren't going to be able to go around it. And that's going to be proccing your Ice Furnace at all times. It's going to be proccing, and your Ice Furnace and your Blockade of Frost going out at all times is also going to give you healing back as well for your Pale Order. I think you guys see where I'm going with this build. I really like this ability. It's definitely better for closed combat situations like towers, inside of keeps, and stuff like that. It's tough for open field fighting, but overall, definitely recommend. I definitely like it a lot. Then Resolving Vigor, this is going to be our 5-second heal over time on our back bar. It's also going to give you minor resolve, so it's going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. Leeching Vines, this is going to be a nice heal on you over time. Also, this is going to apply minor lifesteal to enemies that are hitting you. So that's awesome for your overall healing. You combine Resolving Vigor and Leeching Vines. The healing that you get from both of those is absolutely massive. It's a nice 10-second heal. I like it a lot. I know a lot of people like the other morph better, but personally, I always like Leeching Vines. And then Ice Fortress, this is going to be your source of major resolve, so this is going to increase your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 30 seconds. Also, you're going to get minor protection, so this is going to reduce your damage taken by 5%. So this is a way to make your character very, very tanky between major resolve and minor protection. And then finally, Northern Storm. This is a great ultimate to combo with all of your other abilities. The damage that you output when you have this is insane. That 3,160 frost damage every 1 second is also a buff because we don't have our Major Brutality or anything up. So that's going to be going up a lot in weapon spell damage. You're also going to be increasing your weapon and spell damage by 300 when you apply this. Also, you're going to be getting Major Protection when you use this as well. So it's going to reduce your damage taken by 10%. So you're becoming very tanky in this. The damage that you're outputting is insane because this is frost damage that you're doing. So you're also going to be applying your Ice Furnace as well. So that's also coming back to you as well with the healing for Pale Order. It's all a great cycle with this build. The more damage you output, we have a lot of AoEs, the more healing is coming back in. So it's a nice little cycle, and I just think that this build works so well together, and it's so smooth. I love it. Finally, our last bit is our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Focus Mending, Mastered Arms, Untamed Aggression, and Ironclad. Our red slottables are Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, Kane's Refuge, and Celerity. And then green tree, all we really care about is Breakfall, Rationer, and Liquid Efficiency. And guys, that is the entire build. One last thing, I also use tripods. So for what it's worth, if you guys want to run this build, run those same potions. Tripods are awesome. But guys, that is it from me. I really appreciate you guys watching until the end of the video. We're going to go and we're going to have some gameplay of the build now, so I hope that you guys enjoy. If you do, liking the video and commenting on the video really helps me in the algorithm a lot, so please consider doing both of those. Both of them takes literally less than 5 to 10 seconds. I would appreciate it. That little bit of time out of your day really helps me out so much, and it lets me just continue to put out content like this. I'm always trying out new builds, and I really want to just deliver for you guys because you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. The support that you guys have shown me is nothing short of incredible, and I just appreciate you guys so much. A few last announcements before we get onto the footage. Again, if you're not following that second YouTube channel, please, that link will be in the description. Please go subscribe to that. You do not have to watch the videos, but clicking that and hitting that subscribe button gets me one step closer to that 1,000 sub mark on that channel, and we can get that thing monetized, and that's another step closer to that full-time content creator gig, and I just really would appreciate that. Also, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Click one button. I post all my builds here, and it'd be great. And one last announcement: if you're not following my Twitch as well, I always try out all my builds that I post here. We're always just having a good time on Twitch. I stream 5 days a week, so come on, stop by. Link is as well in the description. That's it from me, guys. I know I've talked your ears off for the last like 15 minutes or so. I'm done talking. I need a break, but that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.